We have author Wendell here with us as well. Say hey, Nikita. Unmute yourself and say hey to the people.
Hey, 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 hey.
So Nikita is the author of Better Than New, and she is back
Yay.
yet again for the third time. Welcome back.
Yes.
And Wendell, say hey to the people.
Hey, family, what's going on?
Author
Welcome
Wendell
back.
is back for I don't even know how many times. It's his show. It's his show. I don't know. We're guests on his show, okay? But he is the author of The Devil Thought He Had Me, volumes 1 and 2. We will link all 3 books in the show notes, and make sure that you guys check those out. Today we are talking about love after toxic.
Yes.
Whew.
Part 2.
We've all been a little toxic in our lives, and we want to go ahead and talk about it and see how do we transition from knowing better to actually doing better, because we know that knowing better and doing better are not necessarily the same thing.
No.
That's what we're going to talk about today. But before we start, we're going to start like we always do with a toast. So I'm going to start with you, Bestie. Who are you toasting to today?
I'm going to give my toast to, oh gosh, I wasn't quite ready, but to this break that's coming up. Shout out to a holiday, a federal holiday, because Lord knows, need the break. School in November is like the worst time of year for anybody who's an educator or works in a school. It's just so much is happening, and you are like, all right, winter break, I see you. And we're almost there, so we're going to get a little sneak peek of winter break with Thanksgiving and just push forward. So your girl is ready, tired. I can tell I'm tired because I'm making simple mistakes for this recording, but it's all good. Here we are.
Nikita, who are you toasting to today?
I'm right there with y'all. This break, it's a short week, so I just gotta hold on and do this Tuesday and this Wednesday and have a short break with family just to relax. I don't have to worry about my son's basketball. I don't have to worry about his karate classes. Just a couple of days of eating and relaxing and binge watching shows. So toast to some relaxation.
Yes,
Amen.
all of that.
Woo. Yes.
Wendell, who are you toasting to today?
You know what? I'm a toast up to just all the bereaved families out there today, that's going through in this holiday season, that have lost a loved one. My prayers that God strengthen you on all lanes side. So man, just know that man, a healing is coming your way. So that's to all the bereaved families right now that's going through in this holiday season.
Amen.
Yes, give us a good word like you always do.
Always. Amen. All right.
I am with y'all. So first of all, I'm glad that I am back home. I'm grateful for that. I plan to stay home at least for the next 7 days. So I'm excited to be at home. That's good. I've been having fun out here in the streets traveling, but y'all, I'm happy to be home. Okay,
Ain't nothing like home.
I am to the point where I'm counting down the work days, because we go on what we like to call shuts down at my organization, and I'm gonna act like I'm an educator because I'm gonna have all those days off.
Okay,
and usually during the summer, that's when Chanel has off, and she wilds out and be texting and call me in the middle of the day like, "You want to go have brunch?" And I'd be like, "Bro, no, I'm working." Then I'd be like, "All right, control on delete.
Let's go. Right.
Let me sit my out of the office." But honey, during Christmas break, I'm gonna be like, "Girl, yes. Where should I meet you?"
I'm gonna be with you.
So
on the 19th.
I'm so excited. So I think is mine on the 13th or 5th grade.
Okay.
Who knows? Who cares? All I know is I'm excited.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
I saw a post that Bridget did where she said it's getting to that point of the year where you say, let's circle back to that next year.
Please.
And I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Listen. 22
Let's circle back in Q1.
On the real.
On that topic. Let's hold that off for Q1. I can't wait to say all that. So yes. So now, usually we break bread, right, and we check in. But instead, because Thanksgiving is coming up this Thursday, I'm going to ask, what are we thankful for?
Oh, that's what's up.
So we'll start with you, Bestie. See how quick you are on your feet?
I'm just listen. I love this. No, I am thankful for. I'm thankful for a lot of things, but I will say I'm thankful for how intentional I am with my family right now. Family has always been like a struggle for me. I mean, it's always been like me and my mom, and that's a given. And now I have my son, so that's a given. So we always do things together. But just really being intentional with me and my mom. The last couple of years was a little stressful because we lived together. I love you, Mom. But that was a lot living with her, and I was just like, I need to be out. And I feel like now that we live in our separate homes, like our relationship is back to what I have been used to, like us hanging out, like getting together, talking on the phone every day. The things that you kind of take for granted when your parent lives in under the same roof as you. So I think I've been very intentional. Like we'll make plans for Saturday. Like, okay, we on Saturday, we're gonna go to Target, we're gonna go to Sam's, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna do this.
Yes.
And it's been really nice. And doing the same thing with my son, you know, he's very busy. And I was telling Sherry Renee before we started, like this past Saturday, he didn't have anything to do, which is a first. Like my son don't never have nothing to do. So I'm like, okay, you got a free schedule. We're going to go to brunch. We're going to go to Target. We're going to run some errands. So him and I was just hanging out, talking to him about school and stuff like that. And then his godfather came into town who picked him up yesterday. They watched the Packer game, like hung out together. Trav. Yeah, Trav was in Milwaukee. So yeah, just really being intentional with my family. My dad called me last night. So if you've listened to the podcast, you know, we got daddy issues on the show. But I mean,
that ain't the only issue.
Hey,
but
that's one of the issues. Yeah. But my dad called me last night. So talking to him and just continuing to build that relationship with him. So just being intentional. There are some other family members like my sister and stuff that I do need to start working on and piecing together. But it's a work in progress. So just being intentional and blessed that, you know, my family is still here, not taking them for granted.
That's good. That's good. Nikita, what are you thankful for?
I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for a lot of things. There's so many things that I could just go on and on and on and name. But most importantly, right now in this season, I'm thankful for the now. I'm always trying to think of what's next. What can I accomplish next? What can I do next? What is my future going to look like? What do I need to do now to prepare myself for later? But I think sometimes we just need to be still and be thankful for the season that we're in right now. Like be present and bloom where you're planted right now. Instead of worrying about what the next accomplishment is and what the next step is going to be and what, you know, when am I going to be able to do this? When am I going to be able to do that? But to literally just look around me because, you know, like we don't get this time back. Mm-hmm. Like today is going to be gone and tomorrow's going to be a new day. So literally just living in the moment and being in the moment, whether that be my relationship with my son, my relationship with family, with friends, just being in the moment and being thankful for where I am right now instead of asking for more or wanting more, but being thankful for what I have right now.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, all of that. That was good. Mr. Wendell, what are you grateful for today?
Well, I'm like all y'all, man. I got so much to be thankful for. But you know what? And I was talking about this earlier. I'm just thankful for every past mistake that I've ever made. Every trial and tribulation that I had to go through. You know, and when I was talking to a guy about that today, he kind of looked at me when I said that, and I said, well, as long as I can always remember what I had to fight for and fight to get to where I'm at right now, it will always keep me humble. I always have something to look back on and say, you know, I don't have to use nobody else as an example. I'm my own example of where I came from, you know. So I appreciate, you know, the not so good moments. I appreciate them slip ups and them falls. And I'm thankful for them because it helped me grow. You know, it helped me grow spiritually as a person, as a father. You know, it helped me grow in so many areas. So man, I'm really thankful for you know, all the mistakes I made because of like John Maxwell said, a mistake is nothing but another way of doing something. You know, we just have to learn from the mistake, you know, and I've learned from a lot of mistakes that I've made, so I'm thankful for it.
Absolutely. Amen. All right.
Absolutely. I have a lot to be grateful for as well. Last year, actually, during this time, Chanel and I did a photo shoot. And it reminded me, it came up in my memories, and it reminded me because I was actually not in a good place at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me be grateful for the season and see the growth and see the change and be proud of myself, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I got to meet up with my mentee. So she's a grad student in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, Miss Sherry, I'm in town. I said, girl, let's go do brunch, right? And I'm just so proud of how she, you know, I've always been very proud of her academically.
Mm-hmm.
But just watching her grow into an adult and the way that she handles her situations and her problems and the way that she moves in life, I'm so very proud of her. The way that she solves her problems. Like, I had to tell her, I was like, I'm always proud, but this is a special moment because, like, you're a real adult.
Right. Right.
You know, a real adult, and just the way that she handles everything. I'm like, I could not be more proud. So it just, you know, it brought me joy just to feel like you were pouring into somebody and you get to see the fruit of what you were trying to plant.
Yes.
Because you like, did it take root?
Right.
I don't know, maybe not. But look, but when you get to see it, you're like, wow, that's awesome.
Bearing all this fruit. Look at you, girl.
Right. Because, you know, that's what they say. You know a tree by what? The fruit.
Listen.
So I was very, very, very grateful and very humbled by it.
Aww.
So yeah.
That's what's up.
So, quick tip.
Okay.
Better Than New.
Yes.
You can get it where, Nikita?
You can get it at www.lydiaandnikita.com on our website, or you can go to directly to my Instagram, my personal Instagram page at I am Nikita, and you can click the link in my bio.
Awesome. Absolutely great book.
Yes, yes.
Nikita, like I said, has been on here twice. So Better Than New was the name of the episode, and then I believe it was Better Than New Part 2.
Yeah, we did a live show.
The live show. So yes, go back and listen.
Yes, please.
Click the link, buy the book. You won't regret. Okay.
All that. Yes, yes.
Second tip.
We got two today
because there are two authors on here today. The Devil Thought He Had Me, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Tell them where they can get it.
Off my website at wendellwhitespeaks.com, or you can go to Amazon and pick up both copies.
Absolutely.
You get it off my website, you get a signed copy.
Okay.
Exclusive copies, you know.
Nikita, what you got?
I can think of something.
Like, give us a sign copy.
Step it up. What you doing?
I mean, we both got signed copies.
Right. Nice little inspirational message on the inside.
I have an amazing inspirational message on mine. So I appreciate that.
Like, we got our signed copies.
We do.
Yes. But yes, make sure you purchase those books, support our guests, because
purchase them and read them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Amazing.
Read them.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you read them, then you have to go back and listen again. Like, no, wait a minute. What happened?
There you go. Purchase that book, read it, listen to our show, go back, self-reflect, do all of those things.
Cry, journal, heal, be better. You know, that's what comes with the reading of the book.
Do everything.
Okay. Now it's time for tea time. So today we're talking about love after toxic. So let's start off by defining what is toxic. What do we consider toxicity to be? Anybody can start.
I think I'll start. So for me, toxicity, it's a hard word, is
let's go to the root word, toxic. We're going to be simple today.
Toxic.
It's Monday.
I'm like, oh, Jesus. You said root word, Latin word. I'm like, what? But no, toxic to me means like a behavior that is not serving you. A behavior of just everything opposite of where you are and where you're trying to go. I feel like when I hear the word toxic, I just think of like declining, like it's pulling everything out of you and just making you like your lowest self is what I would say toxic is.
Okay. Anybody else?
For me, toxicity. See, I said that right.
Go ahead, do it. Be fully present on a Monday.
Toxicity for me is, when I think about it, I just think of draining. I think of
Mm.
something that is just taking you out of character, something that is literally like depleting all of your energy,
Mhm.
negative energy, like you said, Chanel, something that is um just negative, period. Like there's nothing positive about it. It's not serving you, it's not adding to your life, it's taken away from your life. And just something that you're trying to get away from, and it's just continuously draining you and taking away from you. So that's what toxic to me is when I think about toxicity.
Yeah. Mhm. You got your stuff too.
The other two.
Cheer, Renee. Wendell.
Wendell.
I I just look at it as something like anything that's not conducive to growing,
Mm.
that's preventing you from growing, preventing you from being the best you that you can be. So when you think of anything toxic, what it kills. So it kills dreams, it kills hopes, it kills friendships, it kills marriages, relationships, like anything that's not conducive to you being the best you that you can be. That's what I believe toxic is.
Mm.
Mm.
That's
Ooh, you
I of
killed it,
course
right?
agree with what everyone said. I look at it as it's like literally the enemy, right? And
Mm.
like Wendell said, what does the enemy do? They kill,
Mhm.
steal, and destroy.
Yeah.
That's what
Hmm.
toxicity does. The thing about toxicity is you could literally not be aware,
Mhm.
right? Because you know how they say, like, oh, if you put a plant in a petri dish, it'll just grow to the size of that petri dish. But if you take it and plant it somewhere else, it could be a whole tree, right? So sometimes the environment doesn't serve you, and you may not be aware of it because you become attached to it,
Mhm.
right? But attachment and assignment are not the same thing. So, so
Okay.
yes, toxicity,
Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
You
toxicity.
you went on the word.
I think we all did, honey. I'm like, is we ready for this
Right,
conversation?
right.
I
Way to
don't
start
know.
the show. Way to start the show. But no, I was just thinking about kind of where we left off with Wendell in the last show, just talking about how you grew up and how you didn't know you were being toxic because of your environment. That's the environment that you lived in. This is what
Hmm.
I know.
This is what I know.
And then we started to get on to where you are today, and you're married. And Nikita, if you listen to our Better Than New show, you were once married. And you talked a lot about that on our previous show. So let's kind of start there, like the toxic relationships that we knew, and then like pace us to where we are today. So let's kind of get there slowly. So we can start with you, Nikita, since we haven't talked to you in a while. So you were divorced, and now kind of replay that a little bit for those who may have not yet listened to the episode.
Okay. So yes, I was married in 2016, divorced in early 2020. So it's been, no, 2019. Wow,
Okay, I
it's
was
been
gonna
a
say,
minute.
wait, we recorded early then. Like, what? You was in the thick of it,
I was just
So
thinking that, like, you was in the middle of this thing.
yes. Um, so it's definitely been a minute, and I am currently in a new, healthy, amazing, fresh relationship. And definitely this whole topic of love after toxicity resonates with me so well in this current season that I'm in, because it's so hard to go from, because in my marriage, when it was good, it was good, but when it was bad, it was really bad, and it was really toxic. And to go from that to doing the work and healing and going to counseling and writing a book and doing all the things that you know to do or that you're supposed to do in your healing journey, and then getting into this new relationship where you have to unlearn like all of the things that were toxic in your previous relationship. And so I just feel like it's an everyday process for me. Literally telling myself and convincing myself. It's funny because I had a counseling session earlier today, and the one of the things that we were talking about is, you know, what would you need to feel safe in your current relationship? It's not that I haven't done the healing. And healing is an everyday thing. It's an ongoing thing. It's not linear. There's so many twists and turns, and you might have a trigger today, you might be fine tomorrow. And so my therapist was really just like, well, what do you need to feel secure? Like, what do you need to feel safe to actually stop comparing what you went through to where you are now, you know, because in my current relationship, he hasn't done anything, said anything that makes me feel like I'm going to experience the things that I experienced in my marriage, but it's still something is not connecting with my brain, my heart, my body. It's still like, you know, have this wall up, or protect yourself, or be careful, or don't get too comfortable, because I remember where I was, and there's still a little bit of trauma residue that carries on. And I was telling my therapist that I don't believe, you know, even though I'm coming up on a year in my relationship, it could have been 3 years from now. It could have been 5 years from now. I feel like any first healthy relationship after the toxic one is going to be a challenge, because you have to, there's so many things that you can heal when you're single, but there's things that you won't know that you have to heal from until you get into a new, fresh, healthy relationship or marriage. And those things that you went through that were so toxic, you have to continuously unlearn them and tell yourself, like, it's okay, I'm good, we're good. And you don't have to keep comparing and keep having to remember what you've been through, because you're in a completely different season now.
That's good. That's good, sis.
That's so
good.
Woo. And that brings me back to the meme that came from this. Like, nobody talks about how hard it is to feel safe and feel comfortable in that relationship following that toxic one. So that's not verbatim, but sort of kind of what the meme said. But anywho, but that is something that we nobody discusses, that part, like the work that it takes within yourself to continue to do that healing work. Because like you said, Nikita, healing is not linear. It's like you said, one day I'm triggered, tomorrow I'm gonna be fine, but my body and my mind and my heart need to all get in alignment. But that takes work, and that takes time on your part to do that, because this new fresh relationship is going to come with its own new experiences and you know, memories and things like that. So yeah, I think that's great that you're still continually doing the work. Not that you wouldn't, but I think people need to hear that the work doesn't stop. Like, it keeps going.
Can I say something?
Oh, of course.
This is your show.
Right.
Yes. You better say something.
Jump on in.
Otherwise, I'll leave you a negative review.
Y'all need to cut it out. Y'all need to cut it out. But you know what? Like, as I was listening to Sis talk, and man, first of all, I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? Good job for what you're doing, and man, continue to keep healing. So as you was talking, and one thing about me, man, I kind of go off, I kind of read like what the Holy Spirit is giving me about, you know what I'm saying, when I do shows and things like this, and a lot of it be that we go on with our lives, but we yet to forgive fully, wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? When we learn how to forgive wholeheartedly the person for the mistakes that they made, or forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made, just like I just said, John Maxwell said in his book, man, a mistake is just another way of doing something. And when we make those mistakes, it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are good, even though it may cost us a little pain, but even in that pain, we learn how to forgive. See, a lot of people, we try to heal, but we don't forgive. That's one thing a lot of people don't do. They try to heal without forgiving. See, when we totally forgive a person, that's when we can really walk into our healing. And that's when you're going to be able to really live that great relationship, that great marriage that you desire and that you want. Because one thing about any relationship, we're going to have our ups and downs and our downs and ups, but that don't mean, I'm not comparing, because that was something that I dealt with in my past, and I forgave my past, so I can move on to my future, so I can move on with that future wife or that future husband, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Wherever we may go, but it all starts with that healing. I mean, with that forgiving. If we don't learn how to totally forgive with our heart, we're gonna always be caught in the past somewhere, because it's always gonna be something that's gonna bring back an old memory. Say, I remember this, I remember that. I'm not saying forget, be naive to the fact, but you always want to heal, because when you forgive that person that did you wrong, or you forgive yourself for messing up the relationship, however it went, what you're doing to that new person is you're saying, I'm giving you a chance to make your own mistakes. I'm not letting you live in somebody else's mistake. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bringing what somebody else did to the forefront. Now you're responsible for making your own mistakes now, and I'm only going to judge you for what you're doing, not for what somebody did to me, and I'm going to bring it to you. So when you was talking, I'm like, okay, I got your angle, and that's great. I love what you're doing. But one thing I'm gonna do, like every time I'm on this show, I always pray for my sisters. You know what I'm saying? I pray for them. So when you're in my prayer tonight, I'm gonna ask God to just completely teach you how to forgive wholeheartedly. And I'm not saying that you did it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying I want you, because once you get that forgiveness in your heart, sis, you're gonna live an amazing life.
So Nikita, so on that same note, when you did the live podcast with us, I asked you a question, and I have not been able to get it out of my head. And me and Chanel was like, we gonna have to, because you said something so profound. I was like, we gonna have to circle back on this. But the question was, oh, Nikita has popped up. But the question that I asked Nikita was about self-sabotage.
Yeah.
And the question was, why do we do that? And Wendell, this is what made me think of this. Her answer was, if you self-sabotage, it's because you haven't forgiven yourself for something.
Yeah.
So when you were talking, it just made me think about that.
Absolutely.
So Nikita
Absolutely.
is back.
I'm
Hey,
back.
Nikita. So Nikita, what I was saying was, I was bringing up during our live episode when you flew here to Milwaukee. Hey,
Yep.
shouts out to ATL, but you flew here to Milwaukee.
And flew out.
You got flew out. And I asked you a question during the live episode, and I said, I asked about your thoughts on self-sabotage and why do we do it? And your response was, I think when we're self-sabotaging, we have not forgiven ourselves. It's like we don't think we deserve something.
Yeah.
Right. And so when Dale said what he said, it made me think about that. So how do we, so obviously our bodies don't forget. They do keep score. Even if we try to forget, our body will remember. Like if we're put in that same situation, our body feels a threat and we respond accordingly. But how do you, since you are in this new relationship and you're doing all the right steps, going to counseling, how do you distinguish between when something is real? Because like you said, okay, he hasn't done anything, he hasn't said anything. How do you distinguish between when it's you, right, and the past of whatever the trauma is and the triggers are, versus, okay, this is something that I need to hold him accountable for?
I will honestly say that more times than not, it's me. Because and Wendell, I do agree with you that it starts with forgiving those other people that have done us wrong or who have hurt us. And then I had to turn around and forgive myself because I'm super critical and hard on myself because I'm the only person that I can control. Like I can't control what someone else's does, past or present, right? I can only control what I do, my actions, my words. So in my current relationship, more times than not, it is me. And I have to take a step back because I feel like the first thing is acknowledging, right? I feel like if you're in denial, then you're going to continue to go on this continuous cycle of pointing the finger, of, you know, blaming others for what you're going through or what you're thinking or what you're doing. So you have to, I always personally look at self, right? So I say, okay, there's a few questions that I ask myself. Who told you that? So say I am assuming that, and this is just something that I randomly think of. So say that I'm assuming that he's cheating, right? So I've you know, an anxiety, because anxiety is real. And when you're self-sabotaging, you make up scenarios in your head that aren't true, that never happened, that will probably never happen. So there's questions that I have to ask myself to bring myself back to earth. I ask myself, who told you that? And more times than not, the answer is going to be me. Nobody told me that. Nobody showed me that. It was me and my thoughts and me beating myself up, whether it be something that I've been through or something present. And then I ask myself, the second question I ask myself is, how much evidence do you have? And more times than not, I don't have any evidence.
Not a shred.
Right? Like, no text message, nobody called me, nobody. And those are the things that I went through in my past where I did have evidence and someone did tell me. So it wasn't that I was tripping back then. It was that was my actual reality. And now compared to now where it's like, okay, so you're assuming that he's going to leave you, because I have abandonment issues as well. You know, when my ex, when he first asked for a divorce, he moved out and he left. And so with my current relationship, it's like, okay, we had a minor disagreement. I won't say argue because we never argue, but if we have a minor disagreement on something really small, my mind convinces me like, oh my gosh, he's about to leave you. You know, like you messed up. He's about to leave. And then I have to ask myself, go back to those two questions. Who told you that? I did. How much evidence do you have? None. So when it comes to comparing whether I'm self-sabotaging or when it's him, if I do have evidence and I didn't tell myself that, then I know that that's something, okay, this is something that you need to bring to his attention. Don't hold it back, because this is something that you want to address. Because what I used to do, because I was so afraid of bringing up conversations, small conversations, it could be something as simple as, hey, I want more date nights, you know, and before it would turn into an argument, but now it's like, okay, so I'm feeling kind of neglected. I need a little bit of attention. You know, us women, we like attention. And, you know, so just bringing up that conversation, holding him accountable, like, hey, I know you're busy. I know we're busy, but let's have this intentional time. So that's how I weigh whether it's self-sabotaging versus something that I need to hold him accountable for.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good. And it's good that you have that moment of resetting by asking yourself those two questions. Because I was. I'm not
Go
gonna
ahead,
claim
give
this.
us the three answers. She said, no.
Because I heard your voice in my head and say, we are not claiming that. Like, stop saying that. So I used to be in my lower self, a self-sabotager. So yes, I think having that moment of stopping and resetting yourself, kind of like a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 moment. Hey, who told you that? And what evidence do you have? I think definitely puts you back in perspective. Like, is it me which probably it is, or is it them? And then move accordingly. So that's what's up.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I was. It just sounded so profound when you said it. I was like, yes, I wanted to clap, honey. I wanted to clap.
I had to stop myself because it was about to roll off
It's
my
about
lips.
to roll right off. Because you actually professed like I'm number one self-sabotage.
The number one stunner.
Okay, in the Midwest region. Like I got it on lock.
Like, whoa.
But,
Miss Nikita, can I ask you a question, love?
Yep.
Do you write out affirmations for yourself, or do you say affirmations for yourself? Yeah, you know, I'm just reading you. I'm just listening to you talk, and because one thing that I know is, you know, is when you continually tell yourself that you deserve happiness and you deserve joy, you're gonna get what you deserve. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get what you speak with your mouth. You know, it's the law of attraction. We attract what we believe that we supposed to have. You know what I mean? So with the law of attraction, and you know, like I really love the steps that you take, the 2 steps that you take to bring yourself back to reality. You know, to tell yourself, no, my mind playing tricks on me, because I just believe like this is something that I do every night before I go to bed. I say something 50 times, and when I wake up in the morning, I say it 50 times. You know, and it's if it's never the same thing. You know, if I'm lender, I'm not the borrower. You know, it's just something that I'm speaking over myself and letting myself hear that. You know, to just let myself know that regardless of what situation that I used to be in, I'm not in that. Like, you know, it's kind of what Sherry do with Chanel. You know, you're not gonna speak that over your life. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna speak greatness. You know, so with that, like, man, I just like I'm listening to you, like you make my heart cry. You know what I'm saying? Because I could tell like that you really been hurt. Like I can like when I'm listening to you, like I could tell the pain, you know what I'm saying, of the hurt that you've been through. And the thing about, see, one thing people don't really understand about pain, you can tell a person really been hurt by their actions, by the thing that they say. Like that's a pain that you never want to feel again. You never want to feel that, and I could tell. Like, but the thing, what we don't understand as people, that same pain that we try to run from, we really push ourselves towards it if we're not careful, because we're doing things that drive people away from us. You know what I'm saying? Because it's we trying so hard not to go through that again, but you're not giving the person room to be like, I have to make mistakes. Relationship is part of making mistakes. I'm not saying cheating on you. I'm not saying beating on you. That those are not mistakes. But I have to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. Things are going to come up. But when they do, I don't want you to go all the way back and say, "Oh, this joker, he just like that other fool." And then that's when we run into those. That's when we run into that heartbreak. And then you sitting down and you talking to somebody and they saying, well, Ms. Nikita, did he do? No, he ain't do that. What did he say? No, he ain't say that. So why aren't y'all together? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And you hurting and you trying to figure out, and it becomes a cycle where you never get over it, because at the beginning what we start talking about, and it's really comes to do with just that forgiving part. You know what I'm saying? So man, since I'm praying for you, man, and guess what? You are great. You deserve to be loved the way that you want to be loved, and you're gonna be loved the way that you want to be loved. So we're gonna keep saying that, and you're gonna take that and you're gonna run with it. And hey, you good. You good.
It's one thing and I love affirmations and I speak them over myself and over my life all the time, because I do believe that what you speak, you put life into that. If you speak negative, there's going to be life in that. If you speak positive, there's going to be life in that. And so I have to add to that you can speak all day. You can write it down. You can post it on your mirror. You could say it all day, but you have to believe it.
Absolutely.
It's just like praying and saying, hey, God, I want you to do this, or I'm asking for this, or can you send me this man, or can you send me this job? But if you don't believe that you're going to get it, you're bouncing words off the wall. You know, it's not as powerful for you to say it as it is for you to believe it. If you say it, you have to believe it as well. So that's a two-part. Saying it is just the first part. You have to actually believe it. So if I say I'm enough, or I'm deserving of this love that I currently have, or I'm deserving to be a wife again, I have to believe that. And I have to put everything in. Yes, I've been through a lot. Sherry and Chanel know my story from beginning to end. So yes, it's I've been through a lot, but I'm such in an amazing space right now. I have never been happier. I have never had so much joy than I do right now, because when you've gone through stuff and you've finally crossed over to the other side, there's just this unspeakable, unexplainable joy and peace that you have. And when you're continuously healing, you have to believe everything that you're praying for. You have to believe everything that you're saying, everything that you're speaking over your life, because it's a two-part. If you say it, you have to believe it as well.
Oh, well, how do you believe it? Both of y'all. Right. Come on with it.
Well, for me, as one thing about me that, first of all, I believe that we are all on here. We are all believers, you know. So with that being said, if the Bible is just not a stories, that a bunch of stories in a book to me. That's first of all, you know. And when God, see this. One thing I love about God, He gave us the Bible. The Bible is cheat codes. They really are cheat codes to get whatever you desire. It really is. It's really cheat codes to get whatever you desire in the world. Do you understand what I'm saying? But just like Ms. Nikita just said, you could say what you want. You could say that you the lender and not the borrower. You could say that you the head and not the tail. You could say all of these things. But when we say believe it, I'm talking about, do you believe it in your heart that you deserving to be somebody's wife? Not just to be married. I'm talking about I'm deserving of a husband. I'm deserving of a wife, not because any two fools can go get married.
Yes,
like that doesn't mean that's not nothing. But do you really believe it in your heart? See, when you start believing things in your heart, nobody can tell you nothing different. Nobody can tell you that you're not this. Nobody can tell Nikita that she's not in a great place anymore, because she believes it in her heart now. You know what I'm saying? And when you start believing things in your heart, and then you start talking, you start saying it with your mouth and believe. That's why the Bible say it with your mouth and believe it with your heart. And when I start putting this thing in my heart, and I believe it in my heart, I believe in my heart that I'm the best motivational speaker in the world. I thank Eric Thomas. I thank Inky Johnson. I thank all them guys, but I don't think if you put anybody in the room with me that they can outdo me. And that's just what I believe in my heart. You feel what I'm saying? So when you start getting that in your heart that you unstoppable, I don't believe it's nobody out here that can stop me but God, and He loved me too much to stop me. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Love it. I love it. Yes, I truly agree with both of those. And it is so good talking to you again, Nikita, and hearing that you're in such a wonderful space, because I see it online. It's one thing to see things online, and you see people living, and shout out to you, congratulations on purchasing a home and things like that. I feel like we haven't really talked to you or seen you, but we see what you're doing. But to hear you proclaim that you are in this wonderful space of just healing and joy and gratitude and love, like
it's a beautiful
it is beautiful.
But you know what, that was that's what you were professing in the book before it even happened, right? The book is called Better Than New because that was your affirmation publicly that God was going to take this horrible situation and give you something better than new.
Yes.
Right? That's the whole proclamation of the book. So it's glad to see the fruit of that. It's good to see that.
Because God is good and He keeps His promises. And yes, it's amazing to think about. Was that last year? Was the first one?
No, that was 2019. That was 2019.
Yep, and then you came here 2020.
Yeah.
Yes. So just to see from the very beginning when we were talking about our story and talking about, the pain and everything that we have gone through. So to compare that to now to where we both are, because Lydia's doing amazing.
Amazing.
As well.
Child, don't even get me started talking about
Let me
Lydia.
shout her out real
Amazing.
quick. Move, bought a house, new career. So she is doing absolutely amazing as well. And when God promised us better, like, it didn't mean well, that was a part of it, a new relationship or being a wife, but the better that God was really talking about for us was us. He promised us better. So a better me, from compared to the pain and the sorrow and the tears and the grieving to happiness, to joy, to peace, to tranquility. Like, he promised better for us. Yes, everything else, the house came with it. The relationship came with it. All those other things came with it, was just the cherry on the top. But the main thing was that God made us better. And I'm truly living in that right now.
It's so dope to see that play out, and yes, and it makes me think. Go ahead, Wendell.
You know what? I'm gonna pray so hard that you just that God just opened doors for you that no man can ever close, because it's so many. And it's just not women out here that need to hear your story. It's so many men out here that don't know how to. They don't even. Men, we don't know how to recognize pain. We don't even know what pain is. We don't know what hurt is. We don't know, we don't know what depression is. And there's so many people out here, sis, that really just need to connect with you and just need to just be around you. And you just need to feed these people that love and show people that what the Bible says when he said, man, sorrow only lasts for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Like, you are the definition of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so many people really need to get a hold of you and get a grasp of you, because they need, especially it's when you just look at our community, our Black community, with the women and the men, and how it's normal to be hurt. That's normal. It's normal that, like, that's normal. Yes, that is normal for for men to call women bitches and hoes, and that's just normal. That's just part of life, and it means nothing. And women have come to the point where they don't even have a standard. It's whatever somebody else paint for them.
That needs to be its own episode.
Yeah, that does.
Yes. Yeah, let's get us on here. but no, though, it's just for real though. Like, your standard is what Nicki Minaj say your standard is. And Nicki Minaj don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? If Nicki Minaj dress half naked, I want to dress half naked. You know what I'm saying? But if you just watch over the years, I'm 40 years old, so I was around the Lil' Kims and all them. Just think about how women in rap, how they transformed the lives of so many women out here and lowered the standards, while they got rich off of women lowering their standards. You get what I'm saying? And it's women like you three. It's women like you three that's on this panel tonight that the average woman, African American woman, they look at y'all and they would think that y'all think y'all better than others, because they don't even try to know y'all story. They look at what you're doing, what you have, and they will say, "Oh, Nikita, she thinks she better than people," or Chanel, that she thinks she better than somebody. No, I'm just like you, sweetheart. All you got to do is come talk to me and get to know me. Let me tell you all the hell that I've been through to get where I got. Let me show you and help and show you I can help you get to where you're trying to go. But all you got to do is stop looking. You're looking at what I have. You're looking at the things. And the things really is not that I think I'm better than you. You let the things intimidate you for coming to get wisdom from me. And that's what goes on in our neighborhood. So, sis, man, I am gonna pray. I'm gonna pray the paint off the walls tonight, because I need God to open a door for you where you are ministering to millions of women all over this country, and you are helping them. You are helping them walk into their purpose, because that's what they need. And that goes for all three of you ladies. And Chanel, y'all, you and Sherry, I tell y'all this all the time. You ladies are amazing to me. That's why I follow y'all and I like everything. And because you ladies are amazing to me. Like I really appreciate y'all and what y'all just do for people as a whole, because what y'all are doing, man, y'all are trendsetters, man. Y'all doing something where little girls can look up to and say, man, I can do that. Y'all give women hope to say I can do that. If they did it, I can do it, and not like it's just, man, we could talk about this forever and ever, but I'm grateful to be around great women of you all guys caliber. So man, y'all just keep up the nice work, keep up the great work. I'm praying for y'all, man, and man, God just do it for them. Just do it for them, please.
We receive it.
Amen.
Yes,
Right.
Amen.
Go ahead and pray the paint off the wall.
we gonna get one in before we get off of here tonight.
Right. Okay.
There we go.
So Wendell, where we left off in the last episode, you were sharing with us a little bit of your background, right? Back in the day, you were taught to sell drugs, be a womanizer, right? And so a part of your life path, you were saying that you found yourself having, was it 2 girls pregnant at the same time?
3.
3 girls pregnant at the same time. And you were like, wow. There came a point in your time you were like, wow, okay, you said that you realized like, okay, I'm inflicting a lot of pain on these women, right? And you were in pain, right? You had a lot of pain inflicted on you. So you had a lot of pain to give. So then what is the transformation piece? Like what made you aware that you were actually causing the pain? And then what makes you be different today with your wife?
What a thing about it is, even then, when I found out, I had 3 children on the way by 3 different women. And, my pain really came from the stuff that they took from me. It really wasn't them so for say as because they were in pain. I really didn't really understand all of that chaos and things that I have caused until I gave my life to Christ. Until he had to sit me down and show me all the pain that I have caused, and not just in women's lives, but in lives all over, all where I have my feet has treaded the walk the streets of wherever city I done been in. If that was just from selling drugs or just different relationships I was in, but I was so how can I say this? I was so broken. I couldn't do nothing but cut people and bleed on them. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do nothing but like no matter how much money I had, that I tried to fix certain things with money, but I never knew how to fix things with my actions. You know what I'm saying? So my actions was always doing something that I wanted money to fix. You know what I'm saying? I would go out and cheat and do all this, and because I had $100,000, $200,000, I can go buy you a Gucci purse. I can go, you know what I'm saying? I can go take you to the finest malls or the finest, and I never knew what I was saying sorry for. The only thing I would always say I was sorry, but I never knew what I was saying sorry for. And that's the average man out here. We are sorry that we got caught, but when you sorry, let me tell you something. This is how sorry really look. I don't deserve to be with you. If you decided to give me another chance, I really would appreciate it. But you don't owe me anything. If you decided that I deserve another chance, I'm thankful for that. But I don't deserve you. Just me coming saying, oh, Nikita, I'm sorry. What you sorry for? You said you're sorry because you got caught, not because you hurt my feelings. And that's what a lot of people get this word sorry and apologizing to people. And that's what I did for so many years. Even when I got married, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know how to be a husband. I was just a fool married. You know what I mean? So I got married, still living, still even though when I got saved, I got married when I got saved, but I didn't know nothing about being saved. You know what I mean? So I didn't grow up in the church. So when I got married, it was because the pastor was talking about, it's better to marry than burn. So we got married, but I still didn't know about faith. I still didn't know about how to be a husband. So when that storm came, when that storm of life came, guess what I did? I ran back to what I knew was best. God, you take it too long. The bills do. So when I ran back to the drugs to sell the drugs and do all that, I ran back and picked up lust. I ran back and picked up adultery. I ran back and picked up lying. I ran back and picked up cheat. I ran back and picked up everything that God had delivered me from, plus 7 more things that was more toxic than that. I ran back and picked all
That's
that
what that
up.
scripture say, right?
That's what that scripture say. You know what I'm saying? I ran back
7 more spirits more wicked than itself,
more
right?
wicked than itself. I ran back and picked all of that
That's
up
crazy.
because I didn't understand what faith or none of that meant. So if I can't be faithful to God, it's no way that I can be faithful to my wife. There's no way that I can be faithful to my children. There's no way that I can be faithful to nothing, because he is the ultimate. Listen, I got to love him more than I love anything and anybody in the world. So if I can't love him more than I love the lady that I lay down with every night, if I can't love him more than I love her, she don't stand a chance. Or don't nobody else stands a chance. You know what I'm saying? So I really had to get myself in a place where I had to put myself around men that first of all knew how to be men. And then I had to put myself around men that were husbands, not men that was just married, but men that were husbands.
That's a good distinction.
You know what I'm saying? That knew what it took to be a husband, knew what it took to be a father, and knew what it took to spend time. Because let me tell you something. When I was running the street, I used to tell women this all the time. Women always say, "You ain't never got time for me. You ain't never got time for me." I used to tell women this, and I ask God to forgive me for this all the time. Don't blame me, blame God. He only made 24 hours in a day. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so jacked up, and I was so full of myself. You know what I mean? That I really did. I really was the worst thing. I was the worst thing that they ever had in a man. You know, and by them didn't know how valuable they was, they let me devalue them. You know what I'm saying? They let me steal their value. They let me steal their peace and their joy. Man, I told y'all, man, I had to go and apologize to all of my baby mamas. I had to call each and every last one of them and ask them to forgive me for the things that I had put them through. Because when you sit back, and if you don't have God, like, this is where I can understand Miss Nikita. Because if you don't have God on your side, if you don't have a God, the Holy Spirit living inside you, your mind will play tricks on you like you the most terrible person in the world. And you will eat yourself up and beat yourself down, and you will not be able to get up out of that slump. But when God say, when you come to me, you are a new creature in Christ. All old things are passed away. So I have to live off of that. Regardless of whether they forgive me or not, God forgave me. You know what I mean? So now I'm at a place now where even if I find myself slipping, I have men in my life where I can connect with and say, "Hey, man, I'm having this feeling. This was going on." Now I can communicate certain things with my wife that me as a grown boy, I didn't know how to articulate. I didn't know how to articulate if you wasn't being affectionate enough. I love affection. I love to feel like I'm that dude. If you my wife, why can't I feel like I'm that dude? You know what I'm saying? But if my wife don't know that that's one of my love languages, how does she know if I don't articulate this to her? You get what I'm saying? And I was at a place when I was just a grown boy, I didn't know how to articulate that. I tried to make a perfect woman out of 5 different women. I like what you like, I like what you like, I like what you like, I like what you like. And then I sit back in myself and say, man, if I could put all these women together, now you a damn fool. That's what you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we see ourselves as men, especially when we don't have that upbringing of somebody to show us how to be a man, how to treat a woman. Why should we sit back and look and say, you know, when Miss Nikita is crying out for time, why is that important to her? Why is that important to my woman that she want time? It's not that she's doing too much. She want time. If that's important to her, that should be important to me. But we don't understand that if we're not taught that. So I had to things that was taught to me for 20 some years had to be scrapped, and I had to do it all over again.
You had to unlearn it.
And I had to unlearn it, and I had to relearn it, and I had to relearn certain things. I had to relearn how to be patient. I had to relearn and understand, you know, when my wife is crying and she's emotional, that she's not doing too much. She's just in the emotional place right now that she need me to comfort her. She need me to hug on her and love on her. Sometimes she don't need me to say a word. She just need me to just be present. You know, and I had to learn that because I was so used to just, oh girl, you tripping, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? So because these the men that I looked up to, these are the things that I watched them do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, all that soft old stuff, and you know, but with different words, man, that's soft old stuff you doing. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, that wasn't the right way. So now with my sons, you know, I try to teach them a different way. I try to show them how I treat my wife and things of that nature. So, you know what I'm saying? So they can understand. And even with my daughters, you know, my daughters understand. They see, like, man, this is how my dad treat my stepmom, because I don't have no kids with my wife. You know what I'm saying? So this is how my dad treat my stepmom, you know, and they see these things. So now I'm setting a standard for them. When they go out and get the dating and things like that, now when these jokers rolled up on them, they're gonna be You came with a flower on Father's Day. My daddy been buying me flowers since I was 15, 16 years old. My daddy buy me flowers every Valentine's Day. My daddy do this, my daddy do that. So now I'm teaching. Now now every moment for me is a teachable moment that I'll learn from my mentor. You know, so that's how I done got to where I'm at right now. And guess what? Just like Nikita said, it's a everyday process. Every day you're learning something new every single day, because every day is gonna create a different challenge. So every day you coming at something all the way new, and the one thing about the challenge is you up for the challenge. That's why things will never get bored. Like when you hear relationships say, man, this relationship done got bored, that's because y'all not challenging one another no more. It's no challenge no more. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just it's just we lay down, we do this, we do that. This is the norm. Like, no, every day should be a challenge. We should challenge each other to be happy. We should challenge each other to have joy. We should challenge each other, you know, in the bedroom. None of that stuff should play out of style. You know what I'm saying? So man, yeah. So that's just really how it is. I just really had to put myself around them men that knew how to be men, knew how to be husbands, knew how to be fathers, and just felt like, man, they wives was the best thing that ever happened to them, not them the best thing ever to happen to their wife. You feel me?
Okay. That's good right there.
Right.
A whole word in itself.
A whole word. But
so what did it cost you? So today Nikita posted something, and I shared it in our group, and she basically said nothing from nothing is nothing. I'm gonna find it real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, because I thought it was a pretty good quote. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Anything you want in life has a cost associated with it. So in order to attain it, you must be willing to pay. Nothing plus nothing equals nothing. You can't give nothing and expect to get something. And so my comment was everything costs something. I agree, right? Mm-hmm. It might cost time, money, energy, peace, etc. We have to always ask ourselves, is it worth what it costs? We also have to understand the opportunity cost, or what do I have to give up to get what it is that I say that I want? So what did this change? What did it cost you?
You know what? And that is great. I wish I was following you on social media. I'd have stole that post.
No, it's in the group.
It's in the group.
It's in the group.
Okay, but you know what? That is so good, and it remind me of the law of trade-offs. Um,
Yes.
and yes, you know, in the law of trade-offs, you got to give up to grow up.
Mm.
So for what it cost me, it really didn't cost me nothing, but it didn't cost me nothing but probably um me catching a disease I couldn't get rid of,
Mm.
a divorce. So everything it cost me, I really benefited from it.
So
So
really, it
it,
would have cost you more if you would have kept doing.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, it'll probably cost me my life.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the things that it cost me, it was the things that I needed to be gone anyway. So with my change, that's one thing when we spoke the first time. One thing about when I got saved, everybody turned their back on me. My
Mm.
whole family,
So it
even
cost
right
you
now
your
to the
family and your friends.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What they really wasn't my family or my friends.
Mm.
If they're not happy for the change that I made, so you were more happy
Mm.
for me when I was throwing rocks at the penitentiary, running around here like a chicken with his head cut off, don't know which way I was going, drinking and driving, tearing up cars, and so you loved me more then than me being a responsible man and adding value to society. So you love me then more when I was a fool. So that
Mm-hmm.
lets me really know that you really didn't love me. You loved what I was able to do for you. So what it cost me, I appreciate what it cost me. Like I appreciate that because it
Mm.
lets me know it lets me know that really who were really in my corner. You ladies are more of my family than my own family.
Mm.
You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that there's no knock to my family because I love them dearly. But at the end of the day, I communicate with y'all more than I communicate with my family. And my mama stay 2 blocks away from me.
Wow.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm when it first happened, I was hurt. But I understood everybody can't go where God's trying to take you.
Mm.
Everybody can't
And
go.
when you understand that as a Christian, see, our problem is we want to run and grab people that is not meant to go where you going, and that's why you stay where you at because these people don't even supposed to be going where you going. So when I really understood that, I really just let life be, and I say, you know what, God, I'm gonna put it in your hands, and if it's your will to reconcile this relationship, you're gonna make it happen because you're not the father of confusion. But
Right.
if it's not your will, you're gonna make it so we are always on speakable terms. But you're gonna let me know, son. No, I kept you away from them for a reason, and I appreciate that, and I just keep it moving.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
That's good.
Whole word.
Yeah.
A
That was
whole word.
good.
Nikita, what did you have to put down, child? What did it cost?
Everything. I don't know if y'all remember me and Lydia talking about the big
Mm-hmm.
teddy bear
Yes.
bird.
I
Yes,
always
that
think of
that
that
beautiful
meme.
meme.
Yes, I always think
And
of that
that's
meme.
all that's the image that I got when
Yeah.
Wendell was talking and when you were reading what Lakita said or what you said as a response to that. It's like, you know, God's word says obedience is better than sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So had I held on to what I thought I wanted or what
Mm.
I thought I needed or what I was asking God for, because that picture, I don't know, Wendell, if you've seen it, it's on the internet. You can Google it, like big teddy bear, Jesus, small teddy bear. But it's basically, I'm holding this small teddy bear,
Mm-hmm.
and God has this big teddy bear behind his back. And there's no story to go with it, but you can look at the picture and come up with your own story. So the way I interpreted was this little girl, she was struggling to give up the small teddy bear, not knowing that God had bigger, not knowing that God had better for her. And that can go with anything in our life. We're so
Mm-hmm.
afraid to let go of what is to get what God has for us. So before we can get what he has planned for us, we have to get rid of and give him and hand over to him or sacrifice whatever it is that we're so tightly holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we hold on so tightly to what we thought we wanted or what we thought we needed, we're selling ourselves short, right? We're not getting all that God has planned for us. We're not getting all that God wants us to have because we're so stuck and we're so comfortable on what we have right now. So for me, it was like, okay, God, but I wanted this family. I wanted my son to grow up in this 2-parent household. I want my son to see his mom and see his dad, and what would people say? What would people think? But God is like, daughter, I have better for you. I have bigger for you. You just have to trust me. So for me, like Wendell said, it probably would have cost me more holding on to what didn't serve me than to let go of what I had or what I thought I had, because to me, back then was the best that I could do. You know, because this is history for me. This is comfortable for me. This will be better for my son. This will be better for my lifestyle.
Siri, are you
Seriously,
sure? Siri said, look, I got something to add. Let me add my 2 cents in here.
But yeah, so had I held on to that, and had I remained where I was, and had I remained comfortable and not been obedient to what God was saying, which was let go. If you let go, I could blow your mind. If you let go of what you have right now, I could show you that what you have right now and what I plan to give you is way bigger, way better than what you think that you have right now. So if you'll just trust me. And sometimes we feel like we're giving up so much, or we're sacrificing so much, but God, you know, what I have is nice. And, you know, but what if I give this up? Like, what are people going to say? What are people going to think? You know, and then you think about starting over, right? Because you have spent so many years, so many months in this one space. And then you know that if you give whatever you're holding on to up to God, he's not just gonna hand you that big teddy bear, right? You gotta work for it.
You gotta work for that teddy bear. Okay.
It takes months, it takes years. But when you turn around and when you stop for a moment and turn around and look back with how far you came, because you decided to make that one choice, you decided to have that one yes, to be able to say, yes, God. I don't know. In the picture, the girl didn't know what was behind God's back. But
she just thought she wasn't gonna have no teddy bear.
Yeah,
okay?
right. Yeah, because I think her head was down too. Like she was kind of like,
she was like, "But God, I love it," or something. The one that I saw, it said like, "But God, I love it."
Yeah.
She's like holding on to it, like, and God has his hand over, like, "Give it to me."
Right.
Yeah. So you know, we don't know. We know that what we're giving up, but we don't know what God has in replacement of what we're giving up. But if we just say yes, if we just trust him, and we just give over what we thought we wanted or what we thought we needed, and trust him. And it may take a long time. It's not an overnight process. It's not an overnight thing. You may not get it tomorrow. You may not get it next year. But just know that he's not going to allow you to release your grasp of what you currently have and not give you bigger and not give you better.
Amen.
Yes. And there's a cost to holding on to it, right?
It sure is.
Yes.
It is.
That teddy bear got knives in it, honey.
Listen, here.
That little itty bitty little teddy bear.
Listen, it got pricks on it.
It got pricks on it.
As soon as you grab it,
it's a voodoo doll.
it's gonna
okay,
cut
that thing ain't.
Grab on that bear, and it's gonna cut you.
No, that was good.
That was
good.
really good. And really great perspective for both men and women. So that's why we were so excited to have both of you on to hear both of your perspectives. So our listeners are getting an earful tonight.
Yes, and they can find more in books.
Listen here. On all them books.
In all of them books.
Better Than New and The Devil Thought He Had Me. Volume 1 and 2.
And 2.
Yes.
I'm in the kitchen whipping up some again. I got something else and stuff.
Exclusive.
I got in the kitchen whipping up. Man, I got, you know what I got? I got some good things going on tomorrow, man. I got I sit down and talk to the people about my nonprofit organization I'm trying to open up. And then man, some people's reached out to me today about making the book into a movie and things of that nature. Man, we going in, man. We going in, man. So yeah, man.
Where's the real horse? Where we get the real horse? Is it on me?
Yeah, man. So, man,
I think we deleted it.
I'm excited, man. So yeah, man. Then I'm in the kitchen, man. I'm writing another book right now, And
Let's go.
man, yeah. So man, listen, man. Hey, God told me, man, he's sending me all over the world, and I believe it. You know what I'm
Believe it
saying?
wholeheartedly.
Because the whole thing about it, I know the society we live in right now, so many young men out here, they need me. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I think about going back, and just like Miss Nikita was just saying, every time I think about going back to, the selling the drugs, and because I'm not gonna lie, I miss having money. I miss having money. Like I like y'all already know, we done talked about it a million times. Like it wasn't the $200-300 dude coming in the house talking about some baby mama screaming and hollering. You've been outside on all day, you ain't got no money. Now we talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. So when you go from that to a 9 to 5, and things just different. So you really have to trust God. Like
Absolutely.
I really have to trust God and say, God, I just believe if the devil allowed me to see hundreds of thousands of dollars, that you're going to allow me to see millions of dollars.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And I have to believe that in my heart and say, every time Satan try to tell me, man, all you got to do is this. And I can say, no, all I got to do is believe. You know what I'm saying? So this the struggle. This a struggle that I have every single day. You know what I mean?
believe that.
Yes. I had this struggle every single day, because I'm the type of person, like, especially when it come down around holidays and things like that, I'm the type of person that want to get my children whatever they ask for. And I always lived that type of life, that it wasn't nothing that my children couldn't ask for. Like, I couldn't get them. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like my daughter, she finna go off to college and things of that nature. Like, I desire to buy my kids cars now, and you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So guess what? I have to sit back and I have to say, God, I know that you are the Father of all things, and you allowed me, as when I was a sinner, didn't even know you, to provide for my children. Now, Lord, I know you will never let the devil outdo you. But just like, but the thing about what was so powerful, what Ms. Nikita just said, is a lot of us just don't have that patience. We don't have that patience to wait on God. See, God's timing is not our timing. For what we believe. How you think that you've been doing something for 30 years, and then in 30 days you're gonna be a millionaire?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you just gave your life to Christ 2 days ago. Now you think your whole life supposed to go this, and that's what we as Christians, we go so wrong at. And I'm learning that, because when I first got saved, I thought it was going to be like that. I didn't understand the process. I didn't understand, just like the devil had me working. See, I didn't start selling drugs and they just got to giving me kilos of cocaine. I worked myself up from an 8-ball to kilos of cocaine. So if you work that hard for the devil, God say, now if you work that hard for him, for sure.
Imagine what I could do.
Right. You're gonna have to work a little harder, but you're gonna have to put some work in as well. You know what I'm saying? So man, that is what it is. Like, this was amazing tonight, ladies. Like, this was, I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this again.
Yeah, me
too,
man.
This is amazing tonight, man. Like, I love y'all, man. Y'all my sisters, man. This was amazing,
this
man.
Was good. I'm so excited for you, Wendell. Oh my God, movie talk.
I know, right? I'm like, what?
Non-profits are happening.
But the thing about it, the thing about it is, like, if you read the book, you can't say that you ain't think that was gonna be a movie.
Oh no,
that was what we said on the first episode. We was like, first of all, is this real life? Because it says you real life.
Reading the back of the book, we was like, what?
We was just like, this has to be a movie. It has
like
to be.
50 Cent, somebody like bring it to life.
So when they reached out to me today, and when they was telling me, you know what I'm saying, like, hey man, this was going on, and what you think about this, what you think about that. I was at work, so I couldn't holler and scream and run through the job, so I had to hold my composure, so I couldn't really do nothing but just thank God, like, okay, God, like, and see, one thing about God is, once he opened the door, the door
Nobody
never
can
closed
shut it.
unless you close. You feel what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
with all the money that they asking for and things of that nature, see, one thing about God is, okay, God looking and saying, now let me see, is you gonna worry about this little money they talk about, or are you gonna trust me because I just opened this door? So guess what? The first thing I said was, God, you opened the door, you know I don't got the money, and you said the earth is yours and the fullness thereof. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? So that, hey, now he
Your
gonna,
thing, boy.
man, do your
Do your
thing.
thing,
You know what I'm saying?
No, but my dad always says that if God told you to do it, or if God is putting it in your path, then it's his responsibility.
Amen.
Right? He will make provisions for it, right? So if he's calling you to something, look, it's on him. So you ain't got to worry about nothing.
Nothing.
A thing.
It's already written in his book.
No, that's amazing.
For you.
That's
amazing.
amazing. That is
But see,
amazing.
but you know what though? I was really blessed tonight because our sister Nikita, you are amazing. Like, sis, like I applaud you. Like, you know, I don't know. It's so much I could say. Like we could talk on and on. Just like I just admire your strength and your courage, and because it takes a person and that's how you know you walk in that boldness of the Lord, because it takes a person of boldness and courage to talk about their intimate secrets and the thing that hurts them the most, and the thing where most people would say that's embarrassing. Like, I'm not gonna talk about that. That's embarrassing. So when you open up and you let people know, you know, your intimate details about your life and the heartaches and things that you've been through, you're helping people. And that's, like I said earlier, like, man, that's why I really love Chanel and Sherry so much, because what they're doing, they're giving a platform for people to help people. You know what I'm saying? So, sis, I really applaud you. Like, I'm really grateful that, you know, I was a part of this tonight. And man, like I said, man, I am praying and I am just asking God that move on an amazing way for you, and whatever it is that your heart desire, that He give it to you. And so just keep being that light to a dark world, because there's so many women out here that, and I'm not saying just Black women, it's women of all colors that just need you. You know what I'm saying? And man, my two sisters, man, y'all just keep on y'all keep on being that platform, man, for them lights, man. Y'all keep turning them lights on, man, for real, man, because God gonna keep on broadening y'all horizon, man. Y'all do it, y'all do it for the out of the kindness of y'all heart, and y'all do it just to see people get better, you know. And I appreciate it, man. I appreciate every time that I'm on here. And man, it's like the time just run away when we on here.
It does every time.
It
I be like,
does.
what the heck?
It absolutely does. But we receive all of that.
Absolutely.
Wendell, thank you.
We do. And I want to say, Nikita, when you first came on, y'all did it by faith. You know what I mean? Like, literally, y'all was talking about the book, telling us everything, but everything was not done at that time. And you were sharing your tragedy, right? And you were in a place, and you were still sharing your story and what you learned, and you were making declarations about what was to come. Like, you were bold enough to call the book Better Than This, right? Believing that there was a bigger teddy bear, not knowing if there really was or not. And Wendell, you know, you always on here spitting that fire
all the time,
right?
Man.
And I still can. It's hard for me, to be honest, to even comprehend some of the things in the book. Like, I'm like, Wendell, could it be? Wendell, right?
Yeah, that book, I was like, oh,
like,
my
I be at home clutching my pearls. Like, what?
That's a life story,
but
man.
I think that is a true testament of what God can do.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, literally night and day.
Yes.
Because like it's fun. It's crazy. It's what it is.
Yes. It's a story.
It's a movie.
Yeah, a movie. Literally.
A movie.
And you know what, sis? What I always tell people about my book, when people ask me, like, so describe your book, and the first thing I always say is the grace of God. Do you believe in the grace of God? You know, and people look at me when I say that, and they be like, well, what they got to do with your book? Because when you read my book, I'm going to show you the grace of God that was over my life, because it couldn't have been nobody but God that brought me through every situation that I was in that I know I should have been dead, or I know I should have been in jail for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like when we throw that term around, all by the grace of God, by the grace of God, but do you really, really understand the grace of God? When you really understand the grace of God, then you are really grateful and say, God, you know what? I shouldn't be here. So when you pray at night and God don't open that door, you're grateful enough to say, and you're humble enough to say, but God, even if you don't do it, I know you can do it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And you can really mean that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even
And
God,
if you
even
don't
if
do
you
it, I'm
don't,
cool with it because I don't
I'm
deserve
cool
it.
with it because I
Exactly.
don't
No way.
deserve it
It's
anyway.
okay.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Right.
And when you get that in your, when you get that in your heart to really know, you know, that's why, and it's so deep. Like me and my wife was asking our kids the other day. We were sitting down, and on Fridays we have movie night and things of that nature. And we was asking our kids, like, do you know Jesus for yourself? Do y'all know Jesus for y'allself? You know what I'm saying? And none of my children know who Jesus is for themselves. And you know what I'm saying? And they was asking, like, you know, why did you say that? Because y'all are living off of our experiences.
Yeah.
See, y'all need an experience for yourself. And that's why, because they be wanting to know why we gotta go to church Tuesdays and Thursdays and Sundays, because y'all need to know. Because let me tell you something, I don't care how much money you got, I don't care how big your house is, how the $1 million car you want and all that, you're gonna need Jesus at some point in your life. You're gonna need Jesus, and you're gonna need to know him for yourself. So it's best that y'all get to know Jesus right now for y'allself before y'all get in little jams as y'all get older and y'all get from under our umbrella and get up under your own umbrella.
Get on your own insurance plan.
Hey man,
that's life, man. It comes at you
fast. Let me tell you
something.
if I knew all the things that I know now, you just think, since I didn't know who Jesus was till I was 32 years old. Didn't go to church, didn't do none of that. I done heard people, my grandma and them say we praying and doing all this and doing all that. Man, I didn't know who Jesus was. We weren't going to no church or nothing like that. My grandma sold dope. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, now that I know who Jesus, like I did my kids a disservice for so many years. Now I truly love my children now. I didn't love my children when I had all the drug money and things of that nature. Because the only thing I did was bought them stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm giving them, now I pray with them at night. I pray with them before they go to school. I talk to them about, now I love them. Now I'm showing them that I really love them because I'm giving them something that they can take on forever and ever and ever. You know what I mean? So man, yeah, this was amazing tonight.
Yeah, y'all was preaching to me directly and specifically on so many levels.
I'm just saying, like, I felt it today. But Nikita, what's some new things that you want to share real quick with us? What's going on? Anything new that you want to share?
We are, Lydia and I were both in different seasons at different times. Like we were so long in the same season. Of course, our stories were different, but we were always aligned. And then I got a new job and I bought a house and I got in a relationship. And then, she was moving and she got a new career and then she bought a house. So it was like we were back to back to back to back. And so we are finally back and like, okay, God, because like you, Wendell, God spoke to us a long time ago. So many people have prophesied over us, like y'all are going to speak in front of thousands, millions. Y'all are going to do a podcast. Y'all are going to do a journal. Y'all are going to do a devotional. And so we have written it down because you got to write it down and make it plain.
Yes.
But it's like, okay, God, we want to be obedient. Because like you said, Wendell, there are so many people who need us. And so many people who are listening and so many people who have purchased our book and who have told us and who have placed our names in other people's minds and hearts. And so there's work to be done. And so even though we took a small hiatus and a small little break just because of life, We are finally back together, and we're working on some things that I cannot name right now.
Okay. Exclusive will
But
come
we are
soon.
working on it, and it is coming because there's so many things like our work, God's work, really, because it's not even us, it's all Him. We are just a vessel, but there are so many things that we're wanting to do, and so many things that God is wanting us to do. So we finally have our heads back down, and we're finally back on track and walking in obedience to what is next. So we're working on that currently as we speak.
I knew when I saw them vacation pictures, I was like, they up to something.
Listen, when y'all was in Tennessee, that house was, everything about that was spectacular. I was like, let me save this house,
Right?
because I need to go there. Like, it was amazing. Yes,
It was so amazing.
It looked like it. Oh gosh, yes. Y'all got your whole entire life, and I loved every second of it. I felt like I was with y'all. Like, it was just right. We was there too. That was dope. Yes. All right.
It is time to do our to-go box.
Yes.
What are we going to take away? I'm going to start with you, Bestie.
Ooh.
And don't take mine.
Right. I hope I don't. But no, this episode was really great. I knew it was gonna be great going into it. I've been excited since I booked both of you guys. But I'm definitely taking the prophecy over, what we do here on Brunch with Besties, and that's healing and helping others as we heal and help ourselves. And that's our mission. We came up with it, but we really live that. Like, that is really what we embody and what we try to do. So I'm proud of the episodes that we have done in the past, the episodes that we're going to do in the future. I'm just so excited for Brunch with Besties podcast and what we're doing, because I think, I'm starting to believe in it with my whole heart. Like, before it was like, oh, okay, we can do this. It's kind of, but the more that we talk to people and the more episodes that we have, and how our audience responds to these episodes, it's like, we really got something special here. So with my whole heart, I'm like, let's just keep doing this, and let's keep inspiring, let's keep healing, and let's keep healing ourselves. Each and every episode, we do just that. So that's what I'm taking away, just believing in what God has in store for you.
Nikita, what goes in your to-go box?
I'm usually the one with a few to-go boxes. I'm like, can I have a small one for that?
I need a bag. Give me a bag.
I need a bag. Oh man, so many gems. Just the power of healing is probably my main thing that I'm taking with me, and how God has you, and everything that you go through, everything that you've been through is all purposeful. Like, every single piece of it, every bit of it, even if it hurts, even if it's ugly, even if it stings, like, God uses it all. And just to hear your story, Wendell, and I may not know, the full story, but God is crazy amazing to see how you were and what you've been through, to speak and see how you are now. It's amazing. And then on top of that, like, you're using your voice for men and for women, I'm sure, because anybody could hear your story and know that God takes the lowest of the lows, and if you say yes to God, like, He will blow your mind, and His way is so much better than ours. So just for me, I think my biggest takeaway is staying the course, and I think that all of us could agree for that. Like, Sherry and Chanel, keep doing this, because this is so necessary. This is so needed. You're giving other people a voice. You're giving other people a platform to speak and use their voice for others, and hundreds of people for them to hear. And Wendell, you're using your voice, and you're taking your story for what you've been through and for what you've seen. And you're saying, hey, this is how I was, and this is how I am now. And the common denominator for all of it is God. So
that's good.
That's my takeaway.
Wendell, what goes in your to-go box?
Just purpose. Purpose. And when I look at and Nikita kind of hit on it before she left. I'm sorry, Miss Nikita. She kind of hit on it before when she was just closing out. It's just everybody. If you look at this platform right now, you sharing Chanel, y'all doing y'all thing. Nikita, she doing her thing. I'm doing my thing, and our common goal is the same thing. Our common goal is to help people all over the world. We have that in common, and I think everybody is living their purpose. Everybody is fulfilling their purpose, and that's one thing about like Miss Nikita said, when God is in the equation, like it would never be no isms and schisms, no jealousy, no nothing. Everybody is going to be able to play their role because he said your gift will make room for you. So everybody will be able to play their role, and you're going to be a part of the body of Christ. And you're going, hey, Miss Sherry, I need you to be the left hand. Chanel, I need you to be the right arm. Miss Nikita, I need you to be the leg. Wendell, I need you to be the other leg. Guess what? Y'all need to just all be on one accord. And when we were just here tonight, this was just made this so amazing that everybody just brought value to the thing, and this was just so amazing to me. Like everybody is living a purpose, and I love to be a part of something like this. I just had a radio show based out of New York. The lady kicked me off the radio show because she said, I was trying to take over a radio show. So, it's just things like that. Like, it's just things like that. And then when you could be a part of greatness like this, and everybody is so confident in who they are, that it's just, hey man, this is gonna run so smoothly. Wendell, we love you. Nikita, we love you. You know what I'm saying? So when you're a part of everybody that just know their purpose, and when God is in the middle of it, nothing can come between that. So I just like the purpose. Like everybody is just living their purpose. Like like man, I'm just geek tonight. Y'all got me. It's too late to have me this. You know what I'm saying?
Turned up. Hey.
Right. No, that was good.
Oh,
that was good.
Yes. And last but certainly not least.
Next time, I'm going first.
Well, nobody stole yours.
We don't know that.
Okay. Right. Right.
No, this was an amazing episode. My takeaway, you know how they say, hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Heal people heal people.
Right.
Yes, that's why we put that on the shirt.
Yes, we gotta put that on the shirt.
Heal people, and that is the mission here, right? That is our journey, and that's what we intend to do. And I think for me, the common denominator today was faith, right? You started with your opening. You said, I used to, right? Because you was like, you know what, I'm not claiming that for myself anymore. Mm-hmm. I've evolved from that. Nikita, when you talked about the bear, right? Just like, well, first of all, your whole testimony coming on the podcast without the book the first time, okay? Like doing everything that you have done, but the illustration of the bear, like willing to let go of something, not knowing what's coming. If that's not faith, then I don't know what is. And last year, my word was actually surrender. And I was like, God, I'm let go of whatever you tell me to let go of. Now, you don't know what God's going to say, let go of, right? But are you really going to do it? And are you going to have the faith to stay the course? Are you going to have the faith to continue? And then when Dale and I hear you talking about, okay, do you know how easy it was for me to just have thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and now I'm working a 9 to 5? If that's not faith, then I don't know what is, because you could just make that one call, that's all. Right? And be back to doing what you're doing. Especially when you got a lot of kids and it's the holidays coming, right? You know what to do. You know what to do. Because like you said, when you've done something for 30 years, right? If you know how this works, you know this game, you know what to do, you know how quick you can turn something, then it does take a lot of faith to have the patience. Absolutely. To say, no, God, I'm going to live out everything that I talked about in this book that I've learned, right? I'm going to keep having these conversations, not only for other people, but for myself, right? I'm going to keep having these conversations. I'm going to stay true to who I said I am, because I want everybody to see you. And if I go back, they're not going to see you. And even what you said was, you was like, okay, if the devil can give me hundreds of thousands, then I know God can give me millions, right? But that still takes a lot of faith. Because when you are so accustomed to something, when you are so, and in the beginning we talked about toxicity, and I in particular said how we don't know that we're in a toxic environment sometimes. Yeah. We really don't know until we step out of it. Yeah. right? And when we talk about putting stuff down, you got to have faith to understand the opportunity cost. You got to have faith to let some stuff go, to put stuff down and say, nope, this cost me too much, not doing it no more. Can't do it. I don't know what's on the other side, but I'd rather be over there than over here. So for me, I think the common denominator is faith. Y'all spoke a lot of life and faith into me, gave me a lot of confirmations that I'm grateful for. So with that, I'm going to say thank you to our amazing authors. Look, we had two authors on tonight.
Writing books.
We got a movie dropping. We got something cooking with Nikita that she didn't tell us about yet. But she gonna tell us, child. She's gonna come back on here. She's gonna let us know what it is.
There we go.
Her and Lydia.
Listen. Yes.
So thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Becky's podcast. Until next time.
Peace.